Hey everyone, Eileen Bayer the Fam here. Welcome to the second video in the mini-series Epilepsy. This one is going to be a part 1 and part 2 of just this subject on what is a seizure. This is going to be a longer series than normal because there's a lot involved in epilepsy. For those that might have missed yesterday, I'm just going to do a quick recap of what we discussed yesterday and get right into it. So let's get started. Okay. What is epilepsy? Epilepsy is a chronic disorder which the hallmark is recurrent and unprovoked seizures, which is one or more unprovoked seizures with the likelihood of more. That when they're not caused by something like that's reversible, like alcohol withdrawal or low blood sugar or anything like that, that's epilepsy. Now, the seizures in epilepsy, they may be related to a brain injury or a family tendency, but often the cause is not known. Many people with epilepsy have more than one type of seizure and may have other symptoms of neurological problems as well, where they'll do different types of tests to know what's going on. So now that you have a brief rundown of what we talked about yesterday, I do recommend that before you watch this, if this is the first time, you watch the one that I posted the other day before you watch this one, so you get the full understanding of what we're talking about. So getting that out of the way, let's get started. What is a seizure? Part 1. Well, seizures can take on many different forms, and seizures affect different people in different ways. Anything that the brain does normally can also occur during a seizure when the brain is activated by seizure discharges. Some people call this activity electrical storms in the brain. And that's what this is right here. These are like electrical storms. You can see how it's mild and then it just goes haywire right there. Okay? Seizures have a beginning, middle, and end. Not all parts of the seizure may be visible or easy to separate from each other. But every person with a seizure will not have every stage or symptom described by it. The symptoms during the seizure usually are stereotypic, which means they occur the same way or similar to that each time. And they come and go, which is the episodic. It may be unpredictable. Now we're going to cover the beginning. I'm going to teach you what they're called, tell you a little bit about the beginning, the middle, and the end. Okay, we're going to do the beginning now. Some people are aware of the beginning of a seizure, possibly as much as hours or days before it happens. On the other hand, some people may not be aware of the beginning and therefore have no warning. So when somebody feels like they're having a seizure, some people get warnings. As I stated yesterday, my late husband was one that had a warning. His face and his hands would get all prickly, and that's when he would normally go like this and rub his face. And that was his warning sign that a seizure was coming on. But other people that have seizures don't have that. Now remember, I said my husband's seizure was from a brain injury that he had. He had brain tumors. That the seizures, they went away when they took away when he lost the tumors. But not everybody has that problem. Seizures happen for different reasons. Not all of them are from brain injury. Some people are born epileptic for some reason, which we have no we don't know why yet, but it does happen. The prodrome is when some people may experience feelings, sensations, or changes in behavior hours or days before a seizure. These feelings are generally not part of the seizure, but may warn a person that a seizure may come. Not everyone has these signs, but if they do, the signs can help a person change their activity, make sure to take their medication, and use a rescue treatment, and take steps to prevent injury. Because when a person, when a person has a seizure, they lose control of their limbs. Their limbs get weak, they fall to the ground. So like I said yesterday, if they're standing outside and they go into a seizure, they can do a lot of damage because their body convulses. That's what we was talking about earlier, about the activities that your body normally does. Your body will do that. They convulse, and it can be dangerous because they end up smacking their head and stuff. And if they're out on the pavement or even driving a car or anything like that, that's why it's so dangerous. But for the ones that get these little signs, like what my husband had, it enables them to stop what they're doing and do what they need to do to be safe. But remember, like I said, and what I just read to you, not everybody has these symptoms. Not everybody gets these early warning signs. Some people with seizures just automatically quickly go into a seizure, which is hard for them because they don't know when it's going to happen. Okay? The aura is a warning. It's the first symptom of a seizure and is considered part of the seizure. Often the aura is an indescribable feeling. Other times it's easy to recognize and may be a change in feeling, sensation, thought, or behavior that is similar each time a seizure occurs. The aura can also occur alone. It may be called a focal onset aware seizure, simple partial seizure, or partial seizure without change in awareness. An aura can occur before or change in awareness or consciousness, but yet many people have no aura or warning. This seizure starts with the loss of consciousness. Now, tomorrow we'll do part 2, but I want to go over, just, reiterate this with you. When a person goes into a seizure and they lose consciousness, they lose their memory as well. They don't remember anything of the seizure. They don't remember having the seizure. They remember right before the seizure hits. Everything before that, like this time here, they'll remember. But once it gets like this, from this period to this period, they don't remember any of that, anything that goes on. This is like the awakening period right here, when they start to wake up and come to, and then they can, it's really, really, a dangerous thing for them. And they need our love and understanding, just like anybody else would. And it really needs to be brought to the attention to a lot of people, because people are so judgmental out there. They don't realize with different mental disorders, it's different triggers. We discussed some of the triggers with bipolar. There's different triggers with everything. There's triggers with PTSD. Everything good or bad has triggers. Like when we have a good moment, like somebody surprises us with a gift just out of the blue. It doesn't have to be a holiday or anything, just a regular gift. It triggers an emotion in us. You know, it makes us happy and joyful. You know, we're surprised, but it's a happy surprise. There are bad triggers, like when we lose a loved one. That triggers the emotion of sadness, and, you know, and we cry. Empathy is triggered with a lot of people. Emotions are things that our brain triggers with actions, words. And remember out there, for anybody watching this, whether a person has a mental disability or a physical disability, or they have no disability at all, remember one thing: words hurt. Words can kill. Our words are like a two-edged sword. We can use them to uplift people, encourage them, and inspire them. But if they're used to bring somebody down, or anything negative, they have a negative effect. That person that you're bringing down could be on their last leg. They might be there ready to end their lives, and they need somebody to uplift them. Remember that. Never ever bring anybody down, because unless you can walk a mile in their shoes, don't do it, because we can't. We're all unique. We're all different. We all go through different things in life. You know, each person's path is different than our own. So we have no right to judge anybody. We're not here to judge. So when you judge somebody and you say something that's not nice, even if you had a bad day, let me give you a piece of advice. If you're a YouTuber and you've had a bad day, don't go on YouTube that day. If you've had a bad and crappy day and you don't think you're going to be able to handle being nice, don't do it. Because what you say can hurt others, and in the end it's going to come back and hurt you even more. It's always better to uplift and inspire and encourage people. If we all did that, we would be so much happier. Like I said, tomorrow, excuse me, we're going to do this every other day instead of every day, to give people a chance to see the first one, and it's not an overload. If you prefer me to go back to doing this every day, please let me know in the comments when you watch this, because these are put out for you. And if you prefer them to see them every day instead of every other day, then like I said, in the comment section, after you watch the video, please let me know. Also, I want to do a short announcement before I say goodbye. This weekend, I will be doing a mystery box opening. I will probably be doing it live. I'm not sure yet if it's going to be done live. I will let you know before the weekend comes if that's going to be done live or not. But Just so you know, this weekend there will be a mystery box opening. And it's a mystery to me, too. So, before I let you go, let me leave you with this word of encouraging, inspiring, and motivate you to inspire others. Remember, see with your heart and not your eyes, because when you see with your heart, you see inside out. When you see with your eyes, you see outside in, which is not good, because when you see outside in, you prejudge. You don't want to prejudge. Never judge a book by the cover, as the old saying goes. You could look at the cover and think it's a rotten book, and open it and it's the best book you ever read. But on the other hand, if you open the book and you start reading the book, then you truly know what the book is about. Don't judge, because it's not nice, and you really hurt people that are judged. And when you judge them, if they've been judged or prejudged all their life on something or misjudged, they're going to grow up, or they're going to start thinking what you're putting on them. You can cause that to happen in somebody. So don't do it. Instead, inspire them, encourage them, and uplift them. And if somebody says something to you that you don't like, tell them in a loving way that what they said is wrong, or what they did is wrong. Remember, they're on a different path than you are. You don't know what they're going through. You don't know the stresses in their life, and you don't know where they're at. They could be hanging on by a thin thread. So before you judge them, think. That's why I love my saying. To see with your heart and not your eyes. This saying touches me so much because it means so much. People with disabilities, whether it's mental or physical, do not want pity. They don't want anybody's pity. They want to be understood. Just like regular people need to be understood. Excuse me. So remember, you're uniquely made. You matter to me. You're special. And I love you for you, and I accept you for who you are. I don't want you to change one thing, because the way you are is what makes you special. The only thing I want to change is to teach you how to see inward before you see outward. Because what you see inside is what matters, not what you see out here. What these eyes see doesn't matter. But what the heart sees truly does matter. Okay, so until the next time, bye, I love you all.